Hello and welcome to a new episode of Budget Options. I actually made a sub-series, really specifically sub-series or the sub-series on grinders because I always end up discussing grinders because that's really, where you can gain value. So here I'm in Italy. I bought this KOENIC Media World. It's called Media World in Italy. In Belgium it's called Media Markt. So it's the same company, and they have kind of their brand in appliances, which I tried out another one, a, a, a conical burr grinder, but that doesn't really have the capacity to grind for espresso, which I tested. And so, unfortunately, in a way, a blade grinder is then your next best option. And they have this model here that actually comes with two sets of containers. One has 4 blades, and they recommend that one for normal chopping. And then they have the one with 2 blades for herbs, spices, and of course the coffee beans that I'm interested in. Now, actually, my parents-in-law already have, they already had a blade grinder with just one container where it's built into the block. So what I do like about this model is that you have to click it fast. Of course, you want this on top, although you won't get it around, but you will get it all dirty if you would forget that piece. But the thing is, because this is demountable and it can go in the dishwasher, it's just very easy to clean. So my parents-in-law, they just love herbs and spices, and so I brought them my specialty decaf, as my father-in-law specifically really likes decaf. And the first mocha I made for them was then using their blade grinder, which was used for milling some other kinds of herbs, so you don't really get totally rid of those flavors. And so as you do this process of grinding for a mocha pot, or even if you would try for espresso, it's all about the time and shaking. You just have to keep on shaking your beans, otherwise this is the one way of not getting too much variation in the size of your grinding. Because of course, if you just do like this and you leave it stable, the ones that are already ground the most, they will actually stay on the bottom, and the maybe bigger pieces they keep lumping up, they might not get as evenly ground. So to get a more even ground, in my experience, shaking during grinding helps, and I count up to 10 seconds in different intervals and then feel, and then in time you might know, okay, it takes me that much time for those beans, because like a decaf, it's more fragile than regular coffee beans. Of course, depending on how they were roasted, that will be a difference. So you do really need to get a lot of experience with this to make good use of it. Now, I thought 10 grams was going to be enough for the mocha pots, but it wasn't, so I actually added a little bit of their pre-ground caffeinated coffee. So no idea how this will taste, if I will recognize some of my original coffee in here. Well, I would say it's already better than the pure caffeinated pre-ground coffee they have. I think my component in the blend makes it already a little bit more smooth, but I will have to keep working to find a recipe with the decaf beans that works for my parents-in-law. So it was just short of 25 euros, 24.99, that little trick there. You do get those 2 containers, you can put them in the dishwasher, so it gets you started. And if you have better tips, how you shake it, how you get your ground as even as possible, let me know in the comments. Thanks for following this episode and hope to see you on the next one.